Welcome. Have a seat. I am happy to see you here again learning more about psychology. But if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Now let's start. Sensation and perception are two closely related psychological processes that are essential for how we experience and interact with the world around us. Sensation refers to the process of receiving and interpreting sensory information from the environment, while perception refers to the process of organizing and analyzing this sensory information in order to make sense of it. Together, these processes allow us to see, hear, touch, taste, and smell the world around us and to use this information to guide our behavior and make decisions. One of the most critical ways in which sensation and perception differ is in their relative focus. The sensation is primarily concerned with the physical aspects of sensory information, such as the intensity and wavelength of light, the frequency and amplitude of sound, and the texture and temperature of objects. Perception, on the other hand, is more focused on the psychological and cognitive aspects of sensory information, such as how we interpret and make sense of it, and how we use it to make judgments and decisions. There are several different sensory systems that contribute to our experience of the world, each of which is specialized for detecting a particular type of sensory information. The most important of these is the visual system, which allows us to see, the auditory system, which allows us to hear, the somatosensory system, which allows us to touch and feel, the gustatory system, which allows us to taste, and the olfactory system, which allows us to smell. Each of these sensory systems is composed of a number of specialized cells or receptors that are sensitive to different aspects of the sensory information they are designed to detect. For example, the visual system includes photoreceptors in the retina of the eye that are sensitive to different wavelengths of light, and the auditory system includes hair cells in the inner ear that are sensitive to different frequencies of sound. These receptors convert the physical energy of the sensory stimuli they detect into neural signals that are transmitted to the brain, where they are further processed and interpreted. Perception is the process by which the brain interprets and makes sense of the sensory information it receives. This involves a number of different cognitive processes, including attention, memory, and learning. For example, when we see an object, we may attend to certain features of it, such as its color, shape, or movement, while ignoring others. This selective attention helps us focus on the most relevant aspects of the sensory information we receive and filter out distractions. Memory also plays a critical role in perception, as it allows us to store and retrieve information about the objects and events we encounter in the world. This stored information can then be used to guide our perceptions and interpretations of new sensory information, helping us to make sense of it in the context of what we already know. Learning is another important aspect of perception, as it allows us to adapt to new environments and experiences and modify our perceptions and interpretations of sensory information based on past experiences. For example, if we are exposed to a new language, we may initially have difficulty understanding it, but with practice and exposure, we can learn to perceive and interpret the sounds and words of the language more accurately. In summary, sensation and perception are two closely related psychological processes that allow us to experience and interact with the world around us. Sensation involves the physical detection and interpretation of sensory information, while perception involves the psychological and cognitive interpretation and organization of this information in order to make sense of it. Together, these processes allow us to use our senses to navigate the world and make informed decisions based on the sensory information we receive. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions for future content, please don't hesitate to comment and reach out.